I haven't been up here in a while. So this is the firewall I'm talking about. So get a little closer. This is, I don't know, 5 feet high. Definitely blocks some wind main area. And then this firewall is probably, I guess it's 4 feet up, which what's supposed to happen is it blocks. You can see how it blocks the wind from getting to the panels. And then on this side, it's up. I don't know, probably a foot up. And you can also see that this firewall has been coated with a waterproofing. That's why it's so dark and gray. It's got like 2 or 3 coats of waterproofing because we didn't want any wicking of the concrete to get past any of the roofing. So there's our panels. You can see we added that panel there, the 11th panel. That's the one we just increased. So what we're doing is we are installing STARLINK, and the first thing we're doing is I had this made, and we're actually screwing it in with 5 screws into the concrete. So they use those techs that you drill out, and then you put the plastic piece in, and then we're going ahead and just bolting it down, screwing it in to hold it in place. I'll probably at some point put some brackets here, like shelving brackets, to hold it as well, but that's not going to go anywhere. But I'll probably do that anyway. I'll probably put 2 here and 2 on that side, kind of like a shelving bracket. But I mean, look how sturdy that is. I mean, that's really sturdy. Then everything's been pre-drilled, so now we're going to go and tighten things up, and I'm going to help them with that step. So I'll be back in a minute. All right, so that didn't take long. So that's on there pretty good. Got lock washers, and it's on there pretty good. I'm still going to put those angle shelving brackets at some point, but I think it's real good shape. You see, they painted this with the rust inhibitor, so it should last a while. I can keep an eye on it. And then these are going to rust, so just go ahead and, yeah, do here and underneath too. So we brought up some metal paint. I don't know if it's going to do any good or not, but I guess it can't hurt. So we're just going to touch these up with some paint. Just and don't worry about it being perfect. I mean, Disco does everything perfect. But we're just going to put some paint on the front and back. Is that going to help? I guess it can't hurt. It's metal paint. So you can see it's orientated. It's not plugged in, but it probably will change a little bit because remember it was down there on our water feature. So it'll probably orientate, but it's hot up here. So this is what it's looking at. It's looking up here. So the only possible obstruction is that tree. We really got nothing this way, and we're good this way. So it's just that tree, but it doesn't look that way. It's actually looking more over here, about like that. So it's got some real good sky. I have my hat on. I can't even tell you how hot it is up here, even though it's a white roof. Let's find the, oh yeah, look at that. That laser beam is pretty hot. So this is meant to be outside, and I tried to Google, get some information. I'm thinking, but I'll come back up and I'll put some kind of a conduit around this, flexible conduit. Comment, guys, if you have STARLINK. Did you allow the cord to sit out? Again, it says it can. It says it can handle the UV. But I'm thinking about just coming right up tight with a flexible conduit and put it around it and just run it all the way to the house. So that's what I'm thinking of doing. It can't hurt to do that. And take a look what I found. Walked all the way down on both sides. No cracks. Nothing. Perfect. but there's a crack right here. So I have more of this membrane, this liquid membrane. So I'm going to get in here and maybe I'll actually put some grout first. Some grout in there. And it looks like the membrane is sealed still down here. And I see nothing down here. But I don't want water to get in there. Now nothing's going to freeze. And we have no leaks in the house, but that's a potential issue. So I'm gonna grout this, and then I'm gonna put that membrane all over this. So another project. So I guess I'm gonna wait for a cloudy day. But this should be okay. It's gonna get some wind. I mean, they're meant to be out in the weather. They're meant to be in the storms. We were gonna put it over there, but I decided not to because we have our dish there. Now we don't use it. That's for emergencies only. That's satellite TV. Had it piped in just because it was so cheap. And you pay as you go. You get like 200 channels for 1,000 pesos. You get 100 channels for 600 pesos. So what's that? $18, or 600 pesos about $11. You can get 100 channels. So if this goes out for extended amount of time, I could always run downtown and, you know, at least get 100 channels. So did you do the underneath? I was talking away. Yeah, he did. Okay. So we got it installed. I think it's going to work. And now let's go downstairs and let's get this all plugged in. I decided not to drill through the roof. Decided not to do it. So I'm doing it kind of a, call it cheesy way, but at least I'm not drilling through the roof. Okay, it's the next morning. So now that we got the STARLINK installed up on the roof, we had to sync it with the mesh system, which I did yesterday. It worked out fine, so I'll kind of go over that a little bit with you guys. And now today we're actually trying to hide the wires. So that's the goal for today. Beautiful morning. A few clouds. Laser beam is out in full force. Got to get down to Wilma's garden this afternoon once we get some shade and do some grass cutting. Just cut this the other day. It's growing like crazy with you know, the rain every few days. So let's take a walk around. And you saw how we installed the dish on the roof, but I want to show it to you. So see it up there in the corner? Right there. Let me zoom in. It's right there. And you can see we were a little concerned with that tree. And you hear Prince playing with Sandy. So it's looking, you can see it's just tilted just a little bit to the north. So it's basically, let's turn, try to get that to be parallel to the angle of that dish. And look where it's looking. You see the tree anywhere? You see the tree nowhere. So now when I look at the statistics, it's showing 100% no obstruction. Take this zoom out. Been cleaning some mats this morning. All right, so I have my helper here. Here's my helper. If it wasn't for her, nothing would get done for sure. Okay, so the way I did this, I'm going to try to do this as quickly as I can. We did not want to cut a hole in the roof. Didn't want to do it. No. So the way the mesh system is set up, we have 3 of those. I'm going to call it a puck. Thank you, Vanna. Yeah, you're prettier than Vanna. So there's the puck. Deco, M as in Mary 5. Work fantastic. So what we did, and let me explain it. I'll take a little of the zoom out. That is what I call poolside. That was our poolside deco. Number 3, and it was the end of the Ethernet trail. So that was puck number 3. So what we did is when we knew fiber was going to be run, to the house, we ran it down this wall in behind the concrete. And we did a 1-inch PVC to funnel everything down. I would have done a 2-inch now in retrospect. So guys, do 2-inch, don't do 1. Because we have the satellite TV coming down. We have the fiber coming down. And I think there's another wire in there, I forget. And it's full. So I could have easily just put the Ethernet down with a tie wire and pull it through. Can't get it through the tube because we only put 1 inch. So there's a lesson learned. Do 2-inch, have extra room to do that. So let me show you the way we had it set up. Wi-Fi's in there, the old Wi-Fi, right there. Puck number 1 is right there. That's the cord to the fan. So there's puck number 1. You can see it's green, which means good Wi-Fi. So this was number 1. We piped it through the wall to the bedroom, puck number 2. And then it goes back up the wall. Oh, that's what it is. A second Ethernet goes up that 1-inch tube. Goes up in the ceiling. And then comes down. Sorry for the delay, putting on my flip-flops, chanillas. And then puck number 3 of the mesh system ends right there. So I said that's the way I'm going to have to do it. But then just thinking about it, why don't I reverse it? Now, you have to change it in the system, meaning in the Deco app. You have to call this one now the main. This can't be number 3, it has to be number 1. So guess what I did? Went on YouTube University, looked at like 2 videos, and I was a scholar, knew how to do it just by watching a couple videos. So I went online, I changed this to puck number 1. Then I changed the bedroom to puck number 2. I just reversed the order, and then bedroom, puck number 3, all hooked in Ethernet.
Yeah, living room.
Living room. So poolside 1, bedroom 2, living room 3.
Yeah.
So I just reversed it. But here's a little bit of bad news. I shut off the Wi-Fi. That's not the bad news. That's the good news. Because the internet tells you that these Deco systems or your own Wi-Fi, thank you, Vanna, gives you better coverage than the STARLINK router, which is right there to the right where Wilma's pointing. So you can turn it off. You can do a bypass in the app for STARLINK. So now, in essence, that router is a power supply. That's all that is. The Wi-Fi's turned off. And the puck, which is the round one, is the primary Wi-Fi. Now you might say, oh no, that's outside. It can't be outside. True statement. However, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a little wall here just to make sure no rain gets in here. And that's been up a year and it doesn't get wet. But to be safe, I'll take this piece of plywood right here and I'll probably just build a little wall right there just to make sure no water gets on this. Again, the camera's fine, this is fine. We have no issues, but I'm still going to do it. You hear Prince playing with Sandy. So that's how we have it set up. And I set it up, and guess what? It worked perfect.
Yes, definitely. Yes.
So that was giving us about 148. I think I showed that on a previous video. If I can find that, I'll show you again. And now this is getting just under 300.
It's 295.
295. So let's just call it upper 2s, and this was mid 1s, 150, and this is knocking on 300. So this is giving us better coverage. And then with it being mesh, we have really good service. about 15, 20 foot past the gate, which is going to work nice for our gate opener with having it on our app. So we get cell service past our property, and then excellent here. We're getting around 200. And then bedroom, good coverage, which goes through the window to the carport, which is good. And then, of course, the living room. So right now, we got everything covered. Maybe the dirty kitchen needs a little work, and I have an extender that I may use.
The dirty kitchen worked, though. When I was out there, it was 30.
30? Okay, that's not bad.
It still works.
Yeah, 30 works.
Yeah.
So we may be satisfied with that. So let me just get around here and show you what we did. We did not want to put a hole in the roof. So what I did, there's the wire right there, was I just simply put it around back. I just put it over there. I'm going to have to work on it. I'm going to have to make sure that that's secure up there. And I did buy conduit. Remember I said about this being out exposed to the weather, which they say it can, but I still bought conduit. But I'm going to have to secure that. But what I'm going to do today, we have plenty of space. I'm going to be running all the way in this seam, this plastic hiding the wires. And you can fit about, I want to say at least two of these in this. And this was cheap. They're 8 foot lengths, and I got them at City Hardware, hide the wires. And they were 55 pesos per 8 foot length. That's $1 a piece. I measured, I needed 4, I bought 5. So what I'm working on today, and I'm using liquid nails. I can't believe I found liquid nails. I am a big fan of liquid nails. They call it Easy Nail here. They had 12 tubes on the shelf. Guess what we did? we bought them out. I've never seen it here before. I don't know if you've seen it before or not. But can you twist this for me real quick, Wilma? Oh, I did it. I did it with my thumb. Easy Nail. Oh, this stuff is fantastic. So, 12 tubes. Anybody need a tube? Come see me. I bought City Hardware out. So what I'm working on, here's the power source for STARLINK. And you can see I already have some hide wire. So right here, see it here? So this is all going to go up in. This will go up in. And you can see it's starting to turn. And then we have the power supply there, the link for the mesh system. They call it the dongle. You have to order separately if you order STARLINK. Hey, Vanna, you're a little off right there. That's the dongle. So that won't fit, obviously. So I had to cut a piece. That's what that's for. And then I'll start back up. And then just run it across and run it across. And you won't see the wires, but you'll see the track going across. And at the end of the day, it'll look something like this. So it just dresses up and hides the wire. It's not perfect, but hey, at least we didn't put a hole in the roof.
There's no spaghetti hanging.
And no spaghetti hanging. I mean, you'd see people's homes wires like that. So we're just going to hide it. That's our project today. And we'll get back to you in a little bit. What a beautiful day it is. Wilma and I have been busy and getting things done. But you forget. And hey, look at Prince drinking out of the pool. We give him fresh water every day. He doesn't want the fresh water. He wants the pool water. And you can't stop him. I mean, we've told him no 1,000 times, but he still drinks out of the pool. So you just forget that you have a nice view. It's just something that unfortunately everyone takes for granted. We do on occasion, and we try not to, but we need to get our work done so we can enjoy the rest of the day. But we got the wires hidden. Now Wilma's doing some touch-up paint. Take a look. All hidden, can't see it. All in behind there. And the reason why we dropped it down a little from the beam is because that beam is not level. So the track is level, but the beam is not. But the wires go right across, go wrap around, go up, come across, and go right up to the roof. So I still need to get up there to put the conduit on. Not a big deal, but we wanted to hide the wires down here so you don't see them. And take a look at my little rain shelter. See that little white piece? Painted it white so it blends in. Actually took the STARLINK, let me take this, the STARLINK router and turned it around because it's not a Wi-Fi anymore, it's just a power bank. And so it's protected from wind and rain, and then just put that little board there, painted it, screwed it in. Take a look, not bad, right? So now that'll definitely block that from any, so another project done. And we have another project starting on, what, Wednesday, right, Wilma?
Wednesday.
All right, so let's talk about it a little bit. It's a little bit against our better judgment, but sometimes you got to take the plunge, literally and figuratively. So we hired someone today to install our gate opener. Now, we had someone in line and it fell through. The person just wasn't interested in doing it. So through the person, the company that you saw, the Ironworks company, who did that metal bracket for STARLINK and also did our beam. He's our neighbor who lives literally just down that way, just a couple kilometers. We asked him, do you know anybody that installs gate openers, automatic gate openers? And he said yes. So he said, could you bring him up? So he brought him up and we had a meeting, and I asked him obviously a series of questions, and the question was, how many have you done? And here's where it's a little bit against our better judgment. He's done one. Now, he's an electrician, so he obviously knows electrical, but has only done one in Valencia. Look at my hands. See what my other hand looks like. Oh, geez. But it shows I'm working. So he's done one. We're having a real hard time of finding a local person who can do gate opener, and comes recommended from our neighbor. So we went with it. He's going to install the gate opener here. He looked at the gate and said that it needs to be beefened up a little bit with some more flat bar and some angle iron. And he also recommended that we put some 1x1. See where the bars are here going up? And there's another one here, another one here. He wants to come down with more 1x1 to tighten this up. He said this was too loose. Let me show you what I'm talking about. See how this wiggles? So he wants to tighten that up. So that's all included. So he's going to install everything, hook it up electrically. Now, we already have all the electrical there, so that's half the battle. But he's going to do it on Wednesday. Said it's going to probably take him 2 days to do it. He's going to add the extra tubular steel there to tighten it up, more across the bottom. He says that needs to be stiffened up. They'll weld it in place, get it all level to match the opener. Where you been running around, boy? See how he gets in front of me, and then look what he's doing. He's leaning on me. So they're going to do that. He's only done one, so I'm a little nervous. Seemed like a real nice guy. We asked him for a quote. So they left. Came back 2 hours later, which is not bad, same day. And gave us a quote of 16,700 pesos. Didn't have a lot of detail, so I told him I wanted detail and split out the labor. And once I started going through the line items, he said, I'll do it for 9,000. So dropped it from 16,700 to 9. So that's, yeah, another red flag, just because, you know, call it the foreigner price or just raise the price just to see how much he can get. 16 sounded like a lot to me, especially if they can do it in one day, but they are added some extra steel. But nonetheless, 9,000 sounds very fair, because he does have to buy a 30 amp circuit breaker, and he's got to buy obviously some items, get his welder up here, build a pad, he's got to use conduit, hook up the wires. So 9,000 pesos is about what, $175. It'll be 2 guys, 1 to 2 days. Again, I'm a little leery, but sometimes you got to take the plunge. So come along with us for this potentially bumpy ride, but we're looking forward to getting this gate opener automatic. It's just going to make life so much easier, and we have been having a little bit of trouble finding somebody. Like I said, the person that we had lined up backed out on us. So let's see what happens together.